They were having sex while he was holding it back and forth. So the case fell apart pretty quickly after the government arrested him.
All right, before we begin the show, let's thank our sponsors. First and foremost, our title sponsor, Once Upon a Coconut. All natural, non-GMO coconut water with natural electrolytes and no added sugar. You can choose from pure blueberry, pineapple, watermelon, sparkling energy, and chocolate flavors with Once Upon a Coconut. Stay hydrated and refreshed. And if you're wondering why it tastes so darn good, it's due to a combination of factors, including the freshness and sweetness of young coconut water, the lack of additives, and the natural electrolytes present. And the best part about it, Once Upon a Coconut, 10% of profits go to charity that benefit our communities, including the Down Syndrome Foundation, Breast Cancer Foundation, Leukemia Society. Good things, good people, great product. So you can grab it at some Sprouts, you can grab it on Amazon, you can go online to find a store near you or purchase it right there off of their website, onceuponacoconut.com. It is delish. Big thanks to Inspect All Pest Services, our buddy Nick and the crew over at Inspect All Pest Services, providing the highest quality termite, pest, and wildlife control. That's not all they do. Inspect All can take care of your insulation, pressure washing, gutter maintenance, and other home services in Metro Atlanta and the surrounding areas. Remember, seasonal, you get different bugs and critters all around your house, so you want to go with the best in the business, and that would be one of our fine sponsors from day one, InspectAllServices.com. It's the Mad Dog, Manny Arora with the Arora Law Firm, best darn defense attorney in the world, litigating all over the United States, based out of Georgia. We're talking criminal defense, white-collar crime, DUI, drug offenses, appeals, and more. And you can always get your legal questions answered by the Mad Dog, Manny Arora, by getting those to me. And when he pops up on a show, you get your questions answered. So go to thebaileyshow.com and we'll get those questions to the Mad Dog. The Arora Law Firm. He is the best in the business when it comes to therapists. There's no doubt about that. I use them, and so should you. We're talking about Dr. David Markwell with Ridgeline Counseling. He's got 10 therapists in-house, 3 different locations there in Georgia, one across from Sprayberry High School in Sandy Plains in East Cobb, Marietta near the Square in McKaysville, just outside of Blue Ridge. But if you're not in Georgia and you need to talk to the good doctor, then you can go online and get virtual sessions. RidgelineCounseling@gmail.com if you'd like to email him directly, or go online to markwelltherapy.com. There is no better time to check if your insurance is any good. That's why FBC Insurance is waiting for you to reach out. You can call them at 888-308-1841 or email them info@fbcinsuranceservices.com. I just switched up my car insurance because I got a better deal at FBC Insurance. They were the people to find it. Perfect for new homeowners, especially if you're trying to reshop those current insurance policies. 5-star service, multi-policy, bundled discounts, and they're going to shop every carrier out there to find the best insurance for your house, flood, storm season, auto, motorcycle, boat, recreational vehicle, or just a personal policy. 888-308-1841 or go online, FBCInsuranceServices.com. Another one of our great sponsors in storm season. You have to talk to the good people at Alternate Power Solutions of Georgia. Family owned and operated. They are a Generac generator dealer, founded in 2012. So storm season, power goes out. Who knows when it's coming back on? Don't be that guy or girl that does not have a backup plan and having power for whatever it be, especially medical devices, fans, air conditioning, so on and so forth. Offering sales, service, installation, and repair of automatic home standby and portable generators. Every single one of you, when you become a customer at Alternate Power Solutions of Georgia, you get an upgraded warranty, free monitoring, and warranty repair. A+ rating with the BB&B, and you pay nothing until the job is complete. Call or request a free home assessment. You can go to their website, poweringgeorgia.com, or buzz them at 770-853-7571. Use the discount code Bailey, my last name, and get $500 off your entire installation. All right? Servicing Georgia and Tennessee. Again, another great sponsor of the BS podcast that is going to come to your aid here during storm season. And I'm talking about Cliff Bratcher and Jayco Contracting. This one hits home for me because I needed advice from Cliff and Jayco Contracting when my mother got a hole in her roof. Now, Jayco Contracting helping the good folks out in Georgia. And if you're in Georgia, you call him this storm season just to know that you're going to be taken care of when that tree falls through your roof or your shingles come off or a hole somehow appears. gutters, right? They are a platinum preferred contractor with Owens Corning, licensed and insured roofing and gutter specialists covering all of Georgia. Keep in mind, if you've not gone through this process, Cliff and Jayco Contracting are going to take care of it from start to finish. That means dealing with the insurance companies. That can be a headache and a negotiation, and they're the best to do it. Commercial and residential satisfaction guaranteed. JaycoContracting.com, or 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. You give Cliff Bratcher a call at 770-316-3876. Alive Ozone Therapy Spa in Altamont Springs, Florida. This is mine and my wife's wellness spa. If you have an autoimmune, cancer, HIV, just simple biohacking, long COVID, the answer is yes to just about anything that's going on in your body. Most of the time it starts with inflammation, and ozone therapy, it decreases inflammation. So ozone therapy, we are the first and only to do it in Central Florida. That is Alive Ozone Therapy Spa. We also offer red light therapy, halo therapy, pressotherapy, PMF grounding mat, as well as naturally in-house made ozone infused products like the magnesium butter that many of you absolutely love. Ozone therapy, what is it? Quickly, it repairs and rejuvenates your cells to the mitochondrial level by using activated oxygen. Simple as that. No side effects. That's all there is to it. It's a 30-minute session, and you actually burn up to 600 calories when you're in the Hocket sauna. We do it the most non-invasive way. So whether you're in the area or you want to travel, book an appointment, AliveOzoneTherapySpa.com. All the products you can get there as well. And remember, for you two peers, use the discount code BS10 to take that off those online products. If you want to be a sponsor of the show, reach out to me via thebaileyshow.com. And if you are a listener of this podcast and you need any of our great sponsors, please reach out to them. Now, let's begin.
What do we want to talk about?
To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Welcome to the Bailey Show podcast. A guy show women love to listen to.
Intellectually immature nonsense.
That's BS.
That's BS.
That's BS. That's BS.
Okay, then, let's do it.
All right. There it is. Episode 392 of the BS podcast. Thanks for being here on the BPX, Bailey Podcast Exchange. 3 different shows, 5 days a week, 1 feed. All your details, jasonbailey.com. Thanks to our title sponsor, Once Upon a Coconut. OnceUponACoconut.com. Use the discount code BS Podcast 10 at checkout to save some Gatorades. Best podcast in the land. Or I'm sorry, best coconut water in the land. I'm sorry. And the best
best podcast too. Both of them are correct.
I got it right. Thanks for being here. My name's Jason Bailey. There's the Bald Badger, Benjamin, still on location. Hello, Bald Badger.
Yeah, so here I am in the Petri dish armpit of Louisiana.
There you go. There's the Fox with 2 X's looking all pirate-esque. Melissa Fox, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you, matey?
Looking for some ladies. And
perhaps, yes, perhaps a shot of rum as well. No, I'm good.
A shot of rum and some ladies' vagina.
I'm looking for an attention span.
Wait, what?
The Mad Dog Manny Arora will be joining us on this episode, so we'll look forward to that. I have been dying for the last 5 weeks plus to do one thing in my house, and I still have yet to accomplish it. I am so excited to do this that I think about it in my dreams, and that is I want to build a step. That's all I want to do is build a step. I have a piece of 4x4 that I'm going to split into 3 different pieces. I just today bought my rebar to shove it into the soft Florida ground and then fill it with rocks to make a step. It's not much work. It doesn't take long to do. I just haven't had any time to do it. And I was going to do it the other day, and I got sidetracked because we cleaned the garage instead. Yes.
Okay, well, you got all the bees furniture out, so now you got room for activities.
Right. So that was, we just took Bees to the University of Alabama. We took her back to school for her junior year. She moved into a house, and I was waiting to get all the stuff out of the garage, which was a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Did I tell you I had this brand new poker table? Well, it's a kitchen table. It's like a circled table, really nice piece of furniture. Got it from Macy's Furniture in California, Roseville, California. When we moved out there, we bought this gigantic house. Drink for being stupid. And one of the rooms needed something in it. So I turned it into a bar. So I had my bar in there, the TV, my Pac-Man machine. And I was like, I need a poker table, even though the casino was 9 minutes away from me, right?
And I have no friends in California.
Yeah. Well, I was like, that's the best way to make friends, right? You come over, let's play some cards, have some drinks. Yeah, get a table. But it wasn't like the long table. It was a circle table that was a table. And then you flip over the tabletop and it turns into a card table, right? And I was very excited to buy this. It was a spontaneous purchase. It was after I had purchased all my other furniture. I saw it and I was like, I'm going to buy this. The damn thing was $3,400. $3,400 for this table. Now you can get it for $1,500, but it was $3,400 when I bought it.
Come with chairs?
No, didn't even come with chairs.
Oh my God.
All right. Never used once.
Did you send that to Bama?
So where is it now? It is in the house of 5 college girls as their kitchen table.
It's their kitchen table.
Yeah.
So they can double down when they're dining.
So one side there's the regular table, and then they flip it, and then it's got the felt.
Yeah, it's got the felt.
Oh, really?
my-
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So like, when we were moving all this stuff, we got the U-Haul and we took it up there, and which, by the way, thank God I paid the $30 for the insurance. I haven't heard from them yet. Thank God, but when we were, I think somewhere in the panhandle of Florida, I was dry. It was a gas station. It was tight and all. Anyway, I'm pulling out of the gas station and I hear this skoosh, and I just destroyed the fender on this U-Haul trailer on one of those concrete pylons
that are there for people that drive like that.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I get out and I look at the fender and it's just all messed up. And this guy that's, I guess, like a regular at the gas station, because he was inside when I was there talking to the girls, he starts like running after me. And I'm like, nope, bye.
Dude.
Anyway, so, we loaded up this U-Haul and we talk about all this on the hunting episode, but loaded up the U-Haul, unloaded the U-Haul, went to Bee's storage unit, reloaded the U-Haul, unloaded the U-Haul. And then one of her roommates from her old place got kicked out of that place, which is a whole nother story. We talk about it on the hunting episode. It's bullshit. I feel so bad for this girl. She's lost 2 parents in like 3 years. And so I helped her move her stuff, so I'm getting all of her stuff and I'm putting it. It's like, I got a U-Haul until tomorrow. Let me, whatever I can do to help get you to your place, your new place. You have a car and it's you, and you have a giant dog and like 3 cats. I was like, what can I do to help? So I took all of her stuff, put it in the U-Haul, took it to her new place, unloaded it to the new place. So I was like Mr. Mover guy the entire time. Anyway, it was important to me. So cleaning out this garage. So I was waiting to clear out our garage in order to reorganize it. I'm one of those guys that has to have a clean garage, the best of my ability. But all I want to do is make this step. That's all I want to do is make this step.
Is the step in the garage?
No, the step's in the backyard by my kitchen. It's in a place that bothers me. So you've been in my house. So where the out there, the egg is and the kitchen area on the outside.
Is it right when you walk out of the bird cage right in front of you, a step down to the yard? Is that what you're doing?
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
So that spot.
Towards the fence.
Yeah. So that spot, no, it's towards the shed. So
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So that spot right there, for some reason, bothers me. And the dogs, duty around that area. And there's a water drainage drop off. So it pushes my mulch out. So whenever I'm stepping, like I step down in order to go to my shed, it bothers me. And this is going to sound really weird. I like to make wooden steps. I don't know why. I got hooked on it when I was in Georgia. We bought a cabin. I learned how to do it with a 6.
That was my next question. Do you know what the hell you're doing? Or you just put a piece of wood and go, that's a step?
Well, this is easy. I mean, it's like literally it's 4x4, cut, drill, and then rebar, and then push it in, because I'm not making a double step. Right? It's a very simple. It literally will take me 30 minutes to do. I just have not gotten around doing it. And that's all I can think about right now. So I was like, okay, Well, this was last Sunday. So I was like, okay, the garage isn't going to take that long. You know, Bees' stuff is out. So, you know, I got these plastic tubs. I want to get rid of all the boxes. Like the boxes drive me nuts because you can't stack, you know, like some of them are pushed in and stuff. It doesn't look nice and it's not symmetrical.
Garage looks like a liquor store.
Yeah, well, yeah, and they're like sideways on the top, and then they're
like a nice pub, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like it just bothers me. My OCD, it drives me insane. So I was like, all right, Rach, like this is what we're gonna do. You know, that poor girl's always out alive, so you know we don't have any extra time. Sundays are our only time to do it. It's like it's not gonna take long, and we slept in. Like we never do that. So it was like, all right, we got 5 hours. I'm gonna be able to do the garage. I'm going to be able to make my step. I'm going to be able to relax. You know, we got to get all this done before, you know, football season starts. Dude, we were in that garage the entire day. That garage took forever. And we are going through the last of our boxes from the moves from hell from California. And it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But there's something kind of cool. Like I just found a bunch of new stuff, but it's not new. I mean, I've had it forever.
Christmas with your own shit.
Right. I was like,
That's where that went. Look at that. I haven't seen you in a hot minute.
dude, I've got bathroom stuff to last me for the next century. You know, toothpaste and deodorant and all. Dude, I've got so much K-tape. It's not even funny from when I was playing a lot of tennis. I found my massager thing.
Is that what you call it?
That's what they call it. That's what my mom used to call it.
So anyway, we get the garage, like it's pretty good, right? There's space to walk around in, and I can't stop from going out in that garage. I just open the door and I just look. And
do you put your hands on your hips too? Yeah.
I just look around. I'm like, all right.
There's my dustpan. I'm going to use it real quick.
That shit look good, don't it? Don't it look good?
Here, to kind of the dovetail off of Ben's emotional road trip across the country and back, I'm going to jump in on the head game that we were talking about in Tuesday's episode. Is so when we were done, we got rid of all the boxes, so there's not one box left, like actual boxes. They're all in plastic tubs now, so it's nice and neat. And it was Sunday, and Monday was trash day, so I've got 2 trash cans, and I've got all these boxes broken down, ready for the trash guy to take it. And I sat there, and I looked at the trash, and I looked at the boxes, and I turned around. I looked back at the garage, how nice and neat it is, no boxes in the garage, and I said, CAlosure, CALOSUR, CAlosure from California.
Mm-hmm.
That is the last of it, and that's how I'm spelling CAlosure, CALOUSESURE, CAlosure. And I'm like, God, this feels good. Maybe that's why I'm excited to go out in my fucking garage and look around how clean it is because I feel like a weight has been lifted off of my shoulders. Absolutely amazing.
Well, it probably has been lifted off your shoulders. Now, I haven't seen your garage, but I know how OCD you are in the first place. I also know what it's like to walk around in a night's liquor store. So, where you get halfway down an aisle and realize that you dead ends and you've got to turn around and go back. And so I'm proud of you, man. And the fact that you broke down the boxes and put them on the sidewalk for the garbage men and all. This is a great Sunday. What a waste of Rachel's
Bailey's not going to put a stack of boxes in his curb.
Yeah, well, I've got a switchblade, so I like playing with the switchblade. So
yeah, I knew this was coming in. I knew there.
Did you get the black boxes with the yellow lids?
You know what? Home Depot now offers black boxes with red lids.
So red ones, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they're like the step down. I think they're the step down as far as heavy duty.
Oh, quality. Okay.
Quality. Yeah. I think they're the step down because the red and black belongs to Craftsman. So I was surprised.
The yellow and black is the high end. Yeah.
I'm ready for boxes.
Yeah.
Dude, that is a weapon. By the way, I didn't realize that bringing a knife to work at the post office so that you can clip them stupid zip ties is considered bringing a weapon to work.
It's frowned upon.
And she loved that job.
I do love that job. My boss looked at me and giggled and went, "Please secure that." I did not see that.
Melissa, we're going to have you not bring in uranium to work. Please.
Could you just not do that and I'll pretend I did not see it? Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. Where's your next job going to be, Melissa?
I think I'll be back at Walmart before you know it.
I feel like there's a red stapler involved in the next one.
Yeah, if you go back to Walmart, they probably want you to bring a knife to work.
I was told I could have a radio as long as I kept it at a reasonable volume.
You're like the Stanley of Office Place to Walmart. Can I get my stapler? Can I get my radio? Can I get my stapler? Can I get my radio?
Please don't turn the light out.
Anyway, if you want to come over, Fox, I'm going to have a garage looking party. No one is invited into the house. We're just going to hang out in the driveway.
Stand out there,
stand like Forrest Gump in front of it, and just
ooh and ah, nod.
hands on our hips, backwards, up above our ribs, and just
Yeah.
Kind of do an ooh and ah wave down and back again.
Pretty fucking cool, Bailey. Look at your garage.
Will there be drinks or will it be bring your own boob? Farce, I can never pronounce a damn thing.
Yeah, English. That's what you got to bring.
She was going
No.
for Boudin.
Boudin. Thank you.
Yeah, so Manny will come on. We'll talk to him about impact statements. And the reason being is I kind of brought this up, I think, last week, and we really never got into it. But a good watch, I use that term loosely. It's good as far as learning. It's bad if you're a parent with a child at college.
Yeah.
And that is on Netflix. It's called One Night in Idaho. This is about the Idaho murders that took place. I'm sorry, it's on Amazon Prime. I stand corrected. It's about the Idaho murders from the University of Idaho in 2022. And it had the 4 kids that were stabbed violently, if there's any other way to describe it, from the bad guy, and we saw the bad guy, because the trial just ended just recently. And I forget the guy's name. Not that I even
Brian something or other.
Brian something.
Don't give him. You don't need to acknowledge his name. That's one of the things I get mad about.
If you're not familiar with the story, these kids at the University of Idaho, they were very involved in the Greek system. The young man that died in the attack, the one boy, was actually one of my fraternity brothers. He's a Sigma Chi. I didn't know that until I watched this documentary on Amazon Prime. They were in a house on or off campus. It was just a house, like a college house, and there were 6 people that were in this house, and there was like 3 different floors. I'm assuming one was a basement. And one night they were all sleeping. I mean, this whole story is ridiculous. Like, it doesn't make any sense, and it still doesn't make any sense because we don't know why this asshole killed these kids. They were sleeping. All 6 of them were sleeping. And he sneaks into the house, kills 4 of them, does not kill the 2 in the basement, and then leaves. And I think they found him in Pennsylvania, if memory serves.
Well, didn't he also ran into a person, a gal, who was up or groggy or answered the door, and he got some bullshit excuse for her, and she just was like, okay, whatever. And he just kept going right on up to what he was going to do.
I didn't know that.
I was working the news circuit at the time. Of course, it's foggy and Swiss cheese at this point. But yes, that was one of the details, is that he was either let in or passed this gal by in the hallway, and there was no real red flag because it was that kind of time of night. It was the weekend. You never knew if you're going to see, a college dorm type atmosphere.
Yeah, booty call type situation.
Yeah, right. So people be coming or going at that time. You never know. And he basically just said, I'm here to see something or other. And she was just like, yeah, whatever. Okay, that's cool. And went about her business.
Maybe you might be headed this direction, and I apologize if you are. Did you have that conversation with Rach after we talked? And I mean, how did it affect y'all taking bees back to school watching this shit?
So we were watching it. I don't remember watching it till the end. Okay. And we were getting closer to take bees back to school. And Ben had said something to me because Ben, was a regular visitor. He's a patient of ours at a live ozone therapy spa. And he and Rach were talking about it, and she alluded to Ben that she doesn't like it. She's not enjoying it. She didn't say that to me, even though I got that feeling because I had the same feeling. But when you're watching something on TV, you're just like, okay, well, obviously this isn't going to happen to us, that kind of thing. But I mean, like out of really anything that I've ever watched, this one was like really kind of taking it personal, So I kind of I didn't really have the conversation with her. I said to her, I don't know if it was that night or the night after, I said, hey, do you want to finish watching that One Night in Idaho show? And she goes, oh, we're done. I said, I don't remember finishing it. She goes, you fell asleep. And I said, oh, okay. So whether she was lying to me or
She
not,
bullshit the hell out of you. She was like, oh yeah, we're done with that.
I think she did. I said,
Yeah.
and that's fine. Cause I was going to tell her, I was like, look, Ben and I talked and,
Badger wisdom bumped into the Bailey house.
it's fine. It's not that
I stand corrected. Apparently, the gal was up. She just received a DoorDash delivery and had been roaming about the house. So she encountered the killer before
the DoorDash girl.
She got her DoorDash delivery, is what I'm saying. The
Who's
DoorDash.
she?
Xana Kernoodle, one of the roommates that got killed.
Right.
So she met the guy prior. He was already roaming around in there, killed everybody else, and then got her. Maybe she got to eat her food first. I don't know. But he was wandering around and she didn't think anything of it. She just had picked up her food at the front door.
That was not in the documentary at all.
I know that. Well, again,
It was at the end.
Yeah, it's part you slept through.
Well, so Xana was, I believe it was her house. So it was her house. And then, after the killings take place, so this is taking place in a city called Moscow, not Russia, but in Idaho. And it's like no crime, everybody in Midwest. I mean, it's a good town, good college, good kids, the norm, but no murders or nothing like that. So the town freaks out, right? Pretty much everybody leaves. But then the finger pointing started to take place. And the police there at the University of Idaho and the surrounding areas, they didn't know how to handle this. The local police department didn't even have a PR, what they're called PIOs, public information officers. They didn't even have one, so they had to recruit one from a neighboring town, a bigger city. So the locals and the local media, they were getting aggravated because they weren't hearing anything. There was nothing. So finally, like days later, they started to have these press conferences. And to the cops' credit, the cops admit it. They said, hey, look, we're not used to handling situations like this. Without saying it, they were saying, we don't know what to do other than to investigate. So they investigated. I mean, this thing went on for a minute before they were able to find the guy. And then they narrowed it down. And then they got the, this and this and this and that. And they get the bad guy. But, as a parent, you're like, there's all these different things that you go through, these different scenarios, horrible scenarios that might happen to your child when they're away from the house. Stray bullet, a shooting, God forbid, but it happens all the time now, right? We just saw one up in Atlanta at Emory where the officer was killed. And I think one other person was killed because the guy was pissed off at COVID and he went to the CDC. I mean, people are absolutely nuts. I mean, look at the United Healthcare. Like, I hate United Healthcare. But that doesn't mean you go and you shoot the CEO on the streets of, I think, New York, right? I mean, that's just
in the back.
Yeah, in the back. I mean, that's just crazy. So people are nuts, and they feel justified, especially this GameStop generation, in which the bad guy in Idaho was part of. The dude, the CEO of United Healthcare, that killer, he's part of that GameStop generation where they think, oh, you know what? I'll just start the game over and get more lives, and I've talked about this before. It's not even blurry between reality and fantasy. It's just, there's nothing like it's all fantasy, which they believe is reality. And once they feel like they're justified, there's no stopping them. Like, they don't think about the future. They don't think about getting rammed by, Bubba in the cell. They don't think about getting beat up, at Chow when they're in prison. They don't think about getting a hot shot injection and dying. They don't think about those things. They just think about the justification in their head. But this one, the parents, bless their hearts, man, God almighty, there is like, give me some reason of why you took my child's life. Like, give me some type of motive. He didn't say a fucking thing.
He didn't even shrug. Just nothing. Stone cold. Nothing there.
Did you see any of the court case?
I just saw some of the highlights after we had our conversation. I wanted to kind of track it, and it was, I mean, it gave me chills how cold this dude was.
So is the meat of this, Jason, that you and the wife, Rachel, are concerned because of Bezos being at college? Is that the deep root, the sidebar here?
No.
Is that, I mean, I was going to say, because we've had so many serial killer college girl connections over the years, especially like University of Florida, your Bundy deal, your with Gaines or whatever his name was back then. You know, that it happens. You know, it's not a big number, but you know, now.
No, there's no, I guess, sidebar, but I mean, like, I'm telling people because it's a very interesting documentary to watch, and Manny's coming on, and I've got questions regarding the impact statements. But as a parent, I'm just forewarning people that if you decide to watch this show, like, and you've got kids in college, it's not going to be an easy watch. That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, okay. I don't get wrapped up in TV shows like that. This one, you know, I mean, obviously I'd put my life in front of a bullet to stop, you know, that from hitting my daughter. It hits.
All right, let's talk about this killer for a second here. Okay,
hold on, let me bring Manny on. Did you guys see that?
Oh, is he here?
Okay. Can you guys not see that? Can you not see him? No, you
can't.
We
can't see
okay.
My bad.
All right, there he is. There he is from the Arora Law Firm, the AuroraLawFirm.com, buttoning up his shirt, looking all tight and sexy. That is the Mad Dog Manny Arora. Hello, Manny.
Hi, how are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Living the dream every day.
Living the dream, brother. Well, we were talking while you came on about one night in Idaho. Are you familiar with the Idaho murders that took place in 2022 at the University of Idaho, and the case just got wrapped up?
Yes.
Yeah, you're familiar with all that. And I mean, look, dude, you're a parent. You know, you got 2 kids, and they're older. Like, I was just explaining to Fox and Ben that, like, that was a tough one to watch, knowing that you have kids that are out underneath your supervision 24/7, and knowing that this guy pulled off a murder like that, and still, even after the case is done, no motive was explained, which everybody needs closure. Those parents will never have closure, ever have closure, because he didn't say a word. You know, did you watch the case too?
I watched a little bit of it. I mean, that's the guilty plea, and then the whole sentencing issue where he got life without parole ×4, I think.
Yeah. Have you ever seen anything like that before?
Yes.
Yeah, like where the killer just doesn't say a word, doesn't give the families any closure, no motive, doesn't do anything, just sits there and stares.
Well, sometimes you're just a little off, and there's no reason for anything. I mean, it's like, what was the motive on all those people, you know, shooting up the CDC or this or that? Because those folks are dead. At least he could tell you, but I don't know if you have to have a motive if you're just nuts.
Yeah, right. I mean, and you drive yourself insane trying to figure it out of what this dude's motive was. But it's a tough watch. Have you even seen it? Have you watched it on Amazon Prime?
I haven't seen it on Amazon. I just watched part of the case and the sentencing with the families yelling at the guy and all that kind of stuff, and then yelling at the DA. And, you know, people act like he got some kind of light sentence. It's a little crazy because with the death penalty, it'll take 10 or 12 years by the time you go through the appeals, if not more, and you just have to relive it. I mean, you're basically going to be locked down 23 hours a day in a 6x6 room in isolation for the rest of your life. I'm not really sure what else people want, you know, at this point, because there is no appeals. There's nothing. It's done. Versus the other option, which would keep this thing going, because people would try to fight the death penalty. Not that he should be released, but they would fight it.
Too.
Right?
They want him dead too.
Yeah, well, we're supposed to be somewhat of a civilized society. It's not like it's just some picnic. Will he never be heard from again? I mean, to me, this is much better because there's always closure. There's no more court stuff. There's nothing. It's done.
Yeah, but Bailey, would you be disappointed though if the guy opened his mouth and some gobbledygook came out that was his motive, and everyone scratched their head, went, "What the fuck?" You know, sort of like when I talk sometimes, maybe even like right now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you gotta. Yeah, I wouldn't want bullshit. You know, I mean, you
No,
want.
I mean true on gobbledygook. But the reason I did it is because the butterfly flew in the window at 5 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon
Right.
and said, "Hey, Joe, you got to go and kill these kids. You've been taking these classes on criminal science investigation, and you need to put in practice what you've been learning. Now take this knife with you and go and do it." Okay, Mr. Butterfly, thanks for coming in.
Got it.
And
Yeah, got it. Yeah, no, I wouldn't want that. Yeah, no, definitely wouldn't want that. But like when you're defending Manny, let's say, have you ever you've defended somebody that's been accused of murder, right?
Of course.
Yeah. And they've been found guilty, correct? You've had somebody that's been found guilty. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Do you instruct them during the impact statements? I mean, I don't even know if they can talk during the impact statements, but do you say to your clients, like, look, it's done, it's over, you're going to jail forever, you should give these families some closure, there can't be any more charges brought up against you, it's going to clear your conscience, just let them know what they want to know? Do you tell them that as a defense attorney?
Well, most of our cases, I haven't had a crazy serial killer. We've had folks that have shot multiple people as part of a gang shootout or something like that. And in those cases, if you've had a trial, you don't say anything because you screw up your appeal by making any comments. But if you're taking a guilty plea, we leave it up to them if they want to say anything. There's no point in saying anything because it's a mandatory sentence. So whatever you say doesn't change anything. You will only get life or life without parole are the only two options. And then most people are just angry, scared, confused at that point. They don't want to say anything. And a lot of times, years down the road, they'll write a letter to the family or something. But I haven't had anybody just like empty their conscience, because if you're doing these types of things, there's a sociopathic tendency that maybe you just have no empathy for folks. You just do what you do and it doesn't faze you.
Yeah, I always say that I'd always wanted to be a lawyer, but if I'm in your shoes, I couldn't pull, like, because I know you're looking at it from the lawyer aspect. Like, hey, look, if there's a possibility of appeal, you don't want to open your mouth, fuck your feelings, families. I got to look out for myself. I get that. That would drive me insane. I couldn't deal with that. If I'm representing somebody, I'd be like, come on, dude, you're guilty. We've already decided that you're guilty. This is the charges. This is what's happening. Just tell these people what they want. They're going to be living in agony the rest of their lives. At least this might bring them some type of closure and allow them to move on. That's a dick move. But this guy, dude, I'm watching this trial. I mean, I know it's been
a dick move from a serial killer. What the hell?
I know.
And I know this is kind of like way after the fact. I know the trial's been gone. I've just been waiting to talk about it. The impact statements. This is a question I've been waiting to ask you, Mad Dog. Have you ever been in a courtroom and listened to an impact statement from a family to the accused and already found guilty, which would be your client, that affected you for weeks, months, and years after?
We hear it all the time, and most of the time they yell at us as the lawyers working on the case. Now this guy, what was it, Montana or Idaho, or wherever it was, pled guilty, so there was no full-blown trial. He just pled guilty and got the life without parole. But yeah, people have threatened me saying, how can you do this or that? It's a process. That's our system. We have to do it. I'm not the morality police. If there's a higher power out there, then that's going to deal with what the issues are. Our job is to, within the rules, do the best that we can to help that person mitigate the punishment if possible. But if it's a murder case, there's no mitigation. You only get life. And if they want to say something, it's up to them. The judge says, do you want to say anything? And most people at the same time, if you can flip it around and look at it from their perspective, are just scared, uncertain what's going to happen in the future. And like I said, we've had a couple of clients years down the road write something on their own. I didn't even know about it until they contacted me, letting the family know how they felt. But there's a lot of feelings that are going through at the time, even for a defendant, much less a family. And in this case in Idaho, they were all mad because the DA's office didn't keep them abreast with what was going on necessarily. And, they should do a better job. They have a lot of funding to do those kinds of things with counselors and victim advocates to tell the family what's going on through the whole process. So yeah, would it be great if they did that? That's fine. But again, we're not the morality police. This is the system that we have, and there's always a consequence. And at some point, you just have to accept people are crazy to do what they do to begin with. Most murders generally have some love or money or revenge aspect to it. This was just maybe the butterfly told him, or he just said, I'm gonna give it a try. Or maybe he saw somebody out there and they weren't nice to him in line at the cafeteria, and that just pushed it over the edge. You're never going to get the answer that you want to hear, Jason. Even if he said it, you wouldn't be happy.
Yeah, but that wasn't my question. My question was if you, as a defense attorney, ever sat in a courtroom and heard an impact statement so powerful that personally it affected you for days, weeks, months, years after the fact. That was my question.
No, I haven't heard anything like that. It's usually just anger and venom and death and destruction, and you're horrible. And that's it. And we understand that's how people feel. It's been a tragedy, for them. You don't take it personally, but sometimes it gets really hostile and threatening. I
Yeah,
like to go through that.
That's like that's a I don't know. I guess you have to have like just ice water running through your veins to sit there and listen to these people. Like the impact statements from the Idaho murders, the kids' families, the ones that were murdered. You had one woman who I think was an aunt of one of the girls that said, I forgive you. I'm not going to, I understand the approach that she was taking. She was like trying to do reverse psychology. Like, I forgive you. I'm not going to allow this to blah, 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 blah. Obviously each into their own. And one of the fathers, when he got up there, and I know you're nervous and you're angry and you have adrenaline, like you're saying, Manny, running through. So it's tough to get the words out. I can only imagine, right? But if I'm sitting here listening to them, and I went back and I watched them again, just to make sure I was like on. And I'm going, if I ever had to give an impact statement, I would play the game. I would not let it end there. I would say things in my impact statement that would carry on for them in prison. I would say things like, hey, look, you're a murderer. You're a coward. You know that. And I look at you and I look at where you're going. And I know there's guys in there that live by a code, even if they're in prison, and they're going to look at you day one and listen to what I'm saying now. And they're going to make sure that your life is miserable. And I'm talking about every which way possible. When you step into that shower, there's a guy, because look, if I were gay, I'd want that ass. There's a guy in there that's going to want that ass, and I would say things like there's a guy in jail right now that's looking for $1,000 in his commissary, and something were to happen to you. I don't think there should be a reason why $1,000 shouldn't pop up in his commissary.
Oh, Bailey.
Right? You say
you can't force someone to listen.
Yeah. No. No, you're saying
he's doing out a movie plot from the other stuff. I mean, at some point, you can't claim to be Christian and all this and that and then have this much hate. I mean, at some point
you can't
forgive is what you got to do and move on. Otherwise it's going to ruin your life as much as
right. Why give him why
he's done for.
Renting space, and that's the ant deal. You don't let them rent space in your head like that. That's
know what? That is a cop out when people say that, dude.
It's true.
Hold on, you are a Christian. Eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth.
That's Hannibal law. That's not Christian.
Yeah, well, whatever. People need to be held accountable until they die, and you just
that's not Christian either.
That's Christian to me.
Let's go Hawaiian and go acknowledge, move on. Yeah.
No, that's a weak society if you don't hold people accountable.
And you will never grow if you don't learn how to acknowledge things, learn from it, and move on.
What's that? 4 life sentences is pretty much accountability. He pled guilty, said I did it.
Ben, did you ever seen this side of bucket before? It's pretty.
Yeah, but I was letting Manny finish his statement there.
Please.
Yes, not unexpected. It's just I thought the lady actually was the one decent one that just said, I've forgiven you, whatever, took the high road and said, if you ever change your mind and you want to call me and answer my questions, here's my number, just do it, whatever. That's the way to do it and say, look, what's done is done. Whether he did it for a good reason, bad reason, there is no good reason for it, no matter what the explanation is. all we can do is mourn, remember, and move on. I mean, otherwise you're just making yourself crazy, and it just sounds like a bad revenge movie on Lifetime or something, or a Sylvester Stallone kind of thing where we go kill everybody.
But what if it's a good revenge movie?
Yeah, well, that woman that you're talking about is the one that was saying, "I'll forgive you." So I don't believe her. I think that she was trying to pull a sneaky peek, and bless her heart for doing it. I think that was a cool move if you can pull that off. I think she did that in order to try to find out information that was not given in the court case. And if she approached him like that and played the part, she could eventually get it. But deep down inside, I think that woman wanted to just scream, rip the guy's. There is no way I could stand that close to that guy after what he did to my child. I know there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cops in that room, but we just saw it the other day in a court case where they got to the guy and they got some good licks in there. And I don't know why you punch these people instead of just ripping their Adam's apple out right away. I don't know why you punch them. That's like, what's the point of that? You're going to punch him, beat him up, kill him. Put your finger in his eye, rip his Adam's
out.
And
you're going to prison for life, and you screwed up another family. So
wow,
that's that.
But if I go to prison, I'm a godfather in there. People are going to worship me for
You'll
doing.
Be in prison for life. I don't need to be a godfather or made man in there. I'm in prison. You're not getting out.
And tomato sauce and wine. I'd be living.
He's got an inflated view of himself as to what happens in prison. Jason may not be happy when he sees what it's really like.
You gotta stop watching the television. It's not real life, dude.
Yeah, it's real, man. I'd be getting big pieces of bread delivered to me and cigarette cartons and
bread. That's what it'd be.
Bottles of wine, and I'd have my own bed, my own.
They don't smoke in prison anymore, by the way.
You know, where I would be, because I'm a godfather in there after doing that.
They absolutely smoke. Just put that out there.
Yeah, I find it
100%.
I find it hard to believe that prisons are smoke-free facility now.
You literally trade in cigarettes. That's part of
Mr. Lawyer?
People smoke a lot more than cigarettes. It's mostly marijuana and things like that.
Yeah, it's mostly weed, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's not smoke.
Right? You're not supposed to smoke inside, but that doesn't mean people don't smoke.
They're not supposed to do things that got them put there. They don't listen.
Well, if people stopped doing that, I'd be out of work and we wouldn't have a fun show to talk about.
I know the Arora Law Firm would have some issues if people stopped doing the bad stuff. So what do you got going on? Big cases at the Arora Law Firm right now, Manny?
So we're starting the Young Dolph murder trial this coming week. So I got to leave for Memphis in a couple of days. And I think we're going to win this one because the evidence is, I'm feeling good about it. So in about 2 weeks, you will have a verdict and I will tell you what happened. And I'm excited about that. We've got a couple of other trials coming up. One where a guy's kid was acting up his stepson. And instead of hitting him or doing anything, he just pepper sprayed him. So, of course, they charged the father with aggravated assault.
Jesus.
So that's going to be something that we'll have to deal with. There's some child porn things that we talked about with the autistic folks, and those are going to eventually come up in the next couple of months. That'll be the next big thing I have to deal with. So there's a fair amount going through, a bunch of PPP fraud in federal court. Yes, the government's still prosecuting those cases from way back when. Instead of just trying to get their money, they're trying to put everybody in jail.
That's from the COVID days, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, people took advantage of it.
Oh, God.
Shocking that there's a program that people take advantage of. Every program gets taken advantage of. Have you seen the tax code?
Yeah.
A lot of the really, really rich friends that we have that make millions and millions of dollars, instead of taking a salary, what they do is they do the stock purchase options on those things. And when you do that, you can take 70% of the money that you put in there back as a loan at 5% interest. So as long as your money in the market makes more than that, you're coming out ahead and you live off of that and you pay zero income tax.
Damn, that's pretty
so
good.
You want to talk about taking advantage of stuff. There's a lot more out there with the people with the suits do than any quote thug would ever do.
I could have put $500,000 of my PPP into a Tesla note when it was trading at 87 and just crushed and never had to work again. That would have been nice at 5%, which is unheard of. Right?
Yeah, you can do a low interest loan to yourself from that stock thing. That way you don't have to pay any income because you didn't make a salary. You just put it all directly into the market. So there's exceptions for that. And as long as you make more than 5%, you're making your principal plus a bunch of interest. So if you've got $5 or $6 million, and even if you just got 3 or 4% on top of the 5, you've got what, $300,000 plus
Right.
a pure interest to live on.
Yeah.
You're smart like a lawyer.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not rich enough to take advantage of it, but the people that are rich, you got to be able to spend $5, $6, $7 million in the market, and that way you can, even at 3 or 4% profit, you're gonna have plenty of money to live off of. But these guys are probably getting 15+% in some of their high risk things. They're 20+% annual returns on things.
Hey, with all these rappers that you are involved in the different court cases, like Young Dolph, for example, have you become a rap fan because of that? Like, do you have to listen to their music when you're going through one of their court cases?
I haven't, and I haven't become a fan, but I don't even know who most of the people are until they hire us. And the people in my office, like 5 lawyers that work with me, they all seem to know, but I don't know. I don't care. I'm just happy with the Grateful Dead, or some of the '80s music that I really like a George Michael kind of thing, and some of that stuff.
There was a Key and Peele sketch where this rapper, was being charged with all these crimes, and he was like, "No, I'm innocent." And then the prosecutor would play one of his tracks, and it verbatim would talk about like every little detail of this thing he's being charged with. Like,
Yeah, I remember
to the
that
T.
one. That was pretty
Yeah,
funny
pretty
when they were using the words. No, he's confessing to it. No, I'm not.
That's a song.
Well, you would think that, like, if especially, I believe there was a court case or a case that you had one time where they were trying to say that there was motive in some of the lyrics, the rap songs, and this and this and that. And your stance on that was like, well, Johnny Cash said he killed a man, does that make him a kill? That kind of thing. So, I would research wise have somebody go through all these lyrics just to make sure there's not a running pattern of like five albums in a row where it's like, yeah, I want to kill Joey C. Yeah,
Get
bitch.
back to me on that one. Yeah.
Kill Joey C. Like, oh, sorry,
People
Judge.
exaggerate a lot of the stuff that they've done. If you lived in Atlanta in the '80s, every white kid in Gwinnett County had his hat on backwards and a colored bandana on, thinking he was something with his pants sagging. It doesn't make you anything. And so if the songs are after the fact, most of the people know exactly what's happened. Oh, but I didn't read in the paper. Shockingly, in social media, all the details are there. And you profit from it. You act like a tough guy. It doesn't mean you did it. I mean, that's how we're proving cases, is through music, then we have a bunch of problems.
But isn't the same argument? Can't you make the same argument with if somebody posts something on social media and you take that as evidence that, look, they said that they were going to do it? Can you, I don't know the answer to this, but can you pawn that off as what you post on social media as a expression of art, an art form, like you're writing versus meaning something? Because you use social media posts all the time, don't you?
Well, I don't, but yeah, people do it all the time, but a lot of times they are just talking. Music is distinctly separate as far as that goes. It's telling a story. Usually it's about life in the hood and who's being killed and who did what and who's done what. But if I post something saying, I hate so and so and I'm going to get them, I don't think there's anything artistic about it. They still have to prove that you did it, but then that's just a piece of circumstantial evidence. And there's got to be context around that as well.
What some of you might not know is that the Mad Dog Manny Arora and the Arora Law Firm over the years has represented numerous NFL players. And with NFL season coming up, do you still have NFL players with your phone number on speed dial?
I sure hope so, but we haven't had much of an NFL case lately. Everything's been relatively quiet except from the occasional domestic abuse kind of situation or DUI, but nothing major like in years past where there's triple shootings and lots of.
The season's not quite here. Give it just a minute. You'll be fine. You'll get all kinds of stuff.
The preseason kicked off recently, and I believe the Dolphins took one already. So Florida looks good for a few offenses.
Usually they get in trouble in the off season because they'll go to Vegas or something in February. That's when most of our cases have begun, or right after the Super Bowl, if you remember Ray Lewis type of stuff.
Right.
It's usually after the season. People during the season are pretty good.
Yeah. You represented him, didn't you, in 2001?
My old firm did, absolutely.
Ray Lewis?
I worked for myself. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Ray Lewis is a lot of thanks to Manny Arora.
Not to me, my old firm, but
Your old firm.
he actually didn't do it. I think we've talked about it before. It was the two guys he was with that they did it.
Yeah.
He
They
just let
didn't
them
do it
take the
because he
car.
asked them to at all.
Yeah. It was just some random people that they got in a fight with, and they stabbed him after they were hit. I mean, everybody was acquitted in that case. Ray was just what they call a party to a crime because they took his car to leave the scene. It was just kind of a weak case, but as most things in Fulton County that are high profile, it usually falls apart because they overreach and overcharge.
But Adam Pac-Man Jones loves your cell phone.
Well, I mean, I haven't talked to him in years since he retired, but he had the triple shooting out
He
in
just
Vegas.
got arrested again.
Yeah, he just got arrested.
Yeah, but I'm not going to Cincinnati, and that was when I was a much younger man. That's when I became an NFL agent for him and got him traded to Dallas and did football stuff for a while. But
You did that?
yeah, we were the first. I became an agent, and we were the first people to get a suspended player traded before being reinstated. So we had to negotiate with Tennessee to Dallas, and
Look
met
at
with the
you, Manny
commissioner several
Arora.
times. Yeah, it was quite the experience. But yeah, since he quit playing football, I mean, I got other things to do than worry about a DUI or somebody punching somebody.
I would love to hear that phone call. Adam Pac-Man Jones call Manny Arora and be like, "Man, I need you, man." Manny's like,
I
"Dude,
did it again, Manny.
I'm too old for this shit, man. I ain't flying to Cincinnati. Find somebody else locally."
There's plenty of good lawyers in Cincinnati, so I'm sure he'll be fine with his most recent arrest.
All right. Let's get to some questions from the Mad Dog. Anytime you've got a question for the Mad Dog Manny Arora, just reach out to me, jasonbailey.com or any of the social media outlets. I'll find them. Don't worry. Question for the Mad Dog with the Arora Law Firm. Hey, Mad Dog, longtime BS subscriber and fan from the Buckethead days. I'm getting ready to tell my husband that I want a divorce, but I know he's going to fight me on everything, especially our son. He doesn't know it's coming, so it'll definitely be a big surprise. So the other day we got pulled over and the cop found some drugs in the car and they were his. My husband wants me to lie and say they weren't his. I'm sure if I do that, he'll get off the hook. My plan is to tell him I'll say it if he doesn't fight me in court. Is that illegal?
It's not illegal, but if you say those drugs aren't his, then inherently they make them yours. So somebody's going to get in trouble for the drugs unless, I mean, I don't understand what you could possibly say. If you say they're not his, was she in the car with him at the time they were found? Was he
Yes.
alone? Well, if she was in the car, then if there's only two passengers, they're going to blame somebody for the drugs unless they were like hidden in the trunk or something and it was somebody else's car that they were driving. Somebody's going down, so I would advise her strongly not to say that. At this point, I would just, if the DA ever called, I'd say marital privilege. I don't have to testify because we were married at the time. And don't get yourself in trouble. Deal with the divorce as is going to be. You don't want to get into a quasi extortion game because then it makes you look guilty. And if he tape records you secretly saying, hey, don't do this and do that, and they play that for the government, now you're going to be getting the drug charges. So I would strongly say never ever lie, never ever extort, and then think it through. If there's drugs in the car and two people, got to be somebody's because I'm presuming they're driving their own car and
But
it wasn't,
maybe-
some friends. And also, I'm guessing the drugs weren't hidden somewhere. They were probably in a bag or something in the car.
Right. What, Ben?
Maybe she does not want the kid. Maybe she is trying to, I'll take the drug charge, but then you have to take the kid.
That's what I was going to bring up, Manny. I didn't know if you forgot about the child, but if she says the drugs were hers, the kid is not hers anymore.
Custody thing.
Right. It's a custody
Well,
issue.
yeah, I mean, she would get
So-
blamed for it, but then she's
She's
an
not-
unfit
and-
person.
Right. Unless she's an idiot. No offense to your subscribers, our subscribers here to the show, but you have to know that if you admit that the drugs are yours, that you're putting your child in jeopardy, you're supervising, your everything in jeopardy, and your husband's going to get that. You started out by telling us you're going to get divorced, and then you have a child. What was the worry about?
Well, what if it's,
initially?
let me reword this question. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. Let's just say there's a third party, or they're trying to pin it on someone else. Like, I don't know. There's an out that they can blame someone else for the drugs, and she's extorting her husband and saying, "Hey, look, I will lie for you to get you off the hook, but don't fight me for custody of the kid." And nothing is going to happen to her with the drug charges. Let's just look at it like that. Is that illegal?
Of course it's illegal. Now you're saying perjury because in her question, she just said, I would say that they're not his. She didn't say, I know they're his and I'm going to lie for him. But that would be the reasonable implication if you take the question the way you are. Now you're committing perjury and you're never going to get it, because if the DA gets mad, they could charge you with that. And I'm just telling you, haven't been through enough criminal cases that stem from divorces. When people try to do that, damned if everybody isn't recording everybody, which is what their lawyers tell you whenever you have conversations on your iPhone. You just hit one button and it's auto recording with the AI. You don't even need to do that. You can just say record Siri or something. And you start saying that, now the drugs are yours. You're never going to get to have your kids. And frankly, if she's wanting the children, if he gets a drug conviction, assuming it's true, she's in a much stronger position in the divorce. And depending on the amount of drugs, he may be going to prison. So there's not going to be much of a divorce to begin with.
Which,
So
by the
what you're saying is lying is bad.
I mean, it's good for my business if people lie and I get to do it. I'm not the one ever going to do it because I'm not getting in trouble. So if you want to do it, call me for the perjury count if that ever comes up, and I'm happy to help.
Chuck does.
And then I'll have Jason come down and yell at us and do a heartwarming
right, yeah.
victim impact statement about how insulted he is that people lie in court. Why could they
Make you
possibly do that?
listen.
So isn't it illegal, like a federal across the board in every state, that you can't record somebody audio wise unless you have their permission?
No, most states are one-party states. So that's why for wiretaps, or when the cops are listening, they'll get somebody in your family to quote consent to listen so they can then listen in while they're having the conversation. Only one party needs to consent in most of the states. If you remember the old Monica Lewinsky in Maryland, that's a two-party consent state where both parties had to agree. But in Georgia and a lot of other states, if I feel like recording you, I can just record you without telling you.
No, I always thought it was illegal. Like in the radio business, we would always, especially if we were to do a prank call or call somebody on the air, that's why prank calls went away, is because you had to tell them that they were on the air or you were recording them. So a lot of times you would say, hey, this is the Christian Radio Network. You could lie, but all you have to do is say somewhere in there that you're being recorded. That's why I
don't know if that made it a crime, Jason. You might be opening yourself up to civil liability if you haven't told them, because now you're using them for commercial gain or something. But I'm just telling you, if I wanted to record a private phone call between the two of us, I could. And that's why a lot of ways when the police get recorded statements, they'll have Jason's wife call Jason. She's quote consented to recording it. They'll record it, and the cops can listen to it till the cows come home. And you don't need a warrant for a wiretap or anything like that.
That's good. I'm going to keep an eye on that, Rachel.
Loopholes are fun.
Yeah.
No loopholes. It's called the Constitution and statutes.
Yeah, loophole. That's what I meant.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, Constitution.
It's only a loophole if it doesn't help you.
Yeah, right. Constitution, loophole. You can't spell Constitution without loophole. Okay. And we all know that. That's why I was going to say is I always thought that if you're recording somebody, to record them in video mode. So you mean the video, you might not be getting anything, but it's still you're getting something of the video. So that's why I always thought that was a good idea. So I'm wrong. It doesn't matter.
No, I mean, if you have cameras, I mean, you can't secretly record sex stuff. There's specific laws against that. In the privacy of your home, you have to have permission for those kinds of things. That's, if you've got a camera set up in your closet and you're having sex with women, you tape them without telling them. That's completely different. But a phone call, totally fine in a lot of states. You just have to see if you're a one-party or two-party state.
Okay, so no to videoing without knowledge.
No, just make them look at the camera first and wave so that they can't claim they were unaware.
Well, we had that in one of the cases where the lady said he recorded me and raped me and all that kind of stuff. But the interesting thing was it was one of those hand recorders, and they were having sex while he was holding it back and forth. So the case fell apart pretty quickly after the government arrested him because they hadn't done their homework. And I bring them the tape. I said, you mean this tape where she says she's being raped and everybody's moaning and groaning and having a good time talking, and he's hand recording and he's got his wiener schnitzel here, and then it's her and she's smiling, and some oral copulation then happens and they're filming it all, and you're looking up at the guy holding the camera. I mean,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, Manny. What website are you on again? What is
it was called one of my cases that I could give you the tapes for.
.com. It was called oneofmycases.com.
One of the Mad Dog Manny Arora cases, they were lawfirm.com. Okay. Is that a pay site? Is there a premium section in that? Okay.
I should make one. I could use the money at
Should
this
be.
point.
Yeah.
I think we're on to something.
I could tell you some stories, man, but that's a much longer show.
Well,
Put 'em on their website.
that's why we're here. Just let me know when you want to tell some of these stories. All right, let me get to the next question. Next question for the Mad Dog Manny Arora with the Aurora Law Firm, the AuroraLawFirm.com. Yo, Mad Dog. Recently, I ran into some money issues, so I took a job working for this guy who buys and sells merch online. I'm like 99% sure most of his stuff is stolen just based on the crowd he runs with. Actually, when I was young, I stole stuff with one of the guys, so pretty sure these dudes are shady. But it pays well, and I haven't seen anything firsthand. My question is if this operation gets popped, will I get in any trouble if I didn't know for sure?
Yes, absolutely. First, most of those crimes would be theft by receiving stolen property. And the reason it doesn't matter if you know for sure or not is there's a common sense aspect, right? We'll take an extreme example. If somebody's selling a car for $5,000 and it's worth $100,000 or something and it's new, you knew or should have known that it's out there. And the reason that's important is in every trial, when there's something like that going on, they call it deliberate ignorance. It's like I have a suspicion that something's wrong, but I choose deliberately not to educate myself on it. And the reason that came about is from drug cases. So you used to have drug mules, right? The guy would say, I'll give you $5,000, just take this suitcase to Alabama. And so you do it. Well, no sane person's giving you $5,000 to take a suitcase to Alabama. So you're being deliberately ignorant. Even though you have no idea what's inside that case, your suspicion should be up and you're choosing not to know so you can have deniability. If that was the case, every tractor trailer driver that shipped marijuana and cocaine and now fentanyl could walk away from all of it. You'd never get in trouble because you just say, well, I didn't know. Whether you knew or not isn't the issue, but I didn't know. It was all hidden inside the corn or the coffee or whatever, and everybody walk away from it. So deliberate ignorance will get you every time. So if you have a reason that you should know because the prices are too cheap, then yeah, you're on the hook.
Okay.
Yeah. As Jackie Gleason would have said, ignorance of the law is no excuse, boy.
God, if
He
I didn't
isn't ignorant of the law. He seems like to know. It's just ignoring the facts on purpose.
Well, that,
Just to
but
keep making a
ignorance
living,
of the
it'll get
law.
'em.
She
ignorance
just
of
wanted
the
to
law.
do a shitty Jackie Gleason impression.
Fuck off, son.
By the way,
To the moon.
I hope our audience knows who Jackie Gleason is, by the way.
Yeah, I hope they know who you are. What?
Tell him to watch The Honeymooners.
Good talk.
Yeah, or Smokey and the Bear and Bandit.
Smokey and the Bear. Yep.
Good old Smokey and the Bear.
Yeah.
That's the T-Move version.
Actually, a great movie that he was in was with Tom Hanks.
That was a good one, wasn't it? Poor
God, I
guy.
wish I remember the name of it, but
Wasn't
it
it?
was good, real good. And the
good.
blonde, I can't remember
She's
her name.
dead.
Is she really? She died?
I don't know.
Oh, anyway, good movie. His foot was all jacked up in it. All right,
Yeah.
Mad Dog, you want to hang out for the what the fuck video? You ready? I pulled a cop
Sure.
one, so you'll like this. Here we go.
What the fuck?
Want to file a report. And one other thing, why is that officer all the way back there?
He has his body cam on and he is trying to fit you in the frame.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Now, would he get in trouble for that, Manny?
I'm going to be
Cops allowed to
deliberately
make fat
ignorant.
jokes.
Sorry. Wow.
Manny.
Is that for real?
Yeah, it's for real. Manny, so I was telling a story before you came on that my Rach and I were cleaning out the garage, finally getting rid of all the boxes from the last couple of years of all these moves and so forth. And the last box that we came across was a box of shoes and rain boots and snow boots and stuff. And at the bottom of that box sat 4 pairs of my tennis shoes that I have not worn in well over a year.
There's right.
And I got so sad. I'm like, okay.
Did you
Now
just
that-
buy a bunch of new ones to replace those?
No, there's no reason to. They're good. I mean, like I
No,
got.
I thought you just bought a bunch of OnClouds.
I did, but that's not my tennis shoes. So anyway, I was like, I'm looking at them and I'm touching them, and I'm like all these memories of great shots and this and the, the top spin lobs and the big forehand and the big kick serve. And I was like, I got to get that back. So I'm promised. People want me to play pickleball. I don't want to play pickleball. I want to go back and play tennis. So I got to find a place to play tennis, and I'm going to get back into it before the year is up. Mad Dog, you were the guy that got me back into tennis after 22 years. I'm making a promise to my tennis mentor that I am going to pick it back up before the year's end. I promise you that. I know it's important to you, so I promise you.
Well, you've got the mecca of tennis in Orlando with the National Training Center. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how far you are from it, but there's a million courts of all
He's
services.
pretty far from Shader, yeah.
Yeah.
Just tell them to go take that weekend clinic that they do where you just stay there and you just do tennis for 6 hours a day. That'll get you back into the groove of things.
Yeah, I know some of the people. I mean, I haven't talked to them in years that work for the USTA over there, you know, that worked at the Atlanta Open, you know. Right. So but you know, like I'll see clips of like, especially Ben Shelton. Like that guy's playing some just amazing tennis. And before Ben Shelton became Ben Shelton, he was playing the small 250s like he was in Atlanta. And I remember that night he played Isner and he almost beat him. He should have beat him. And Johnny even said that afterwards. He's like, he said that to me off the mic after I interviewed him. He's like, that kid should have beat me. He's going to be good. And like, I see him now and he's sponsored by OnCloud. And dude, he is so good for the sport of tennis. It's not even funny, you know? And when he went up and he won his first Masters 1000, I think it was in Toronto maybe. And he goes up there and he hugs his dad, who used to play. He was a doubles legend at Georgia Tech, your alma mater. And then he went on to coach at Florida for Ben.
Well,
right?
He coached the women at Georgia Tech first, and he and I were in school together when he played. And he took the women to a national title, and the second year they had the national title individual winner as well. And he had the #1 recruiting class of ladies coming in when he got the job offer at Florida at some ungodly amount of money. And so our ladies tennis program hasn't been the same since. And of course, Florida blew up once his son got there. They got a couple of national championships with him, and now he's a full-time coach with his son.
But he played doubles at Georgia Tech when he was in college, right?
He played singles and doubles, and he was really good at the time. And my daughter's beaten his daughter many a times when they were both in juniors. But his son was next level.
Yeah. Ben is just, that dude is a beast, man.
Yeah, especially as a lefty and being that tall and strong.
Yeah.
You. Nothing in common.
Ben.
That's the ping pong.
Ben, we're talking about Ben Badger. Yes, that's exactly what we're talking about.
Exactly. Nothing in Common was a Jackie Gleason movie. Bess Armstrong was the
Bess Armstrong. Bess, not Beth. Bess Armstrong.
Bess.
Yes, right, Beth. A reminder: this design that the Bald Badger did, very cool shirt, is available. JasonBailey.com in the merch store. It's very, very cool. I've worn it 2 days in a row. I like it. So thank you very much. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Manny, you got to try this stuff. Once Upon a Coconut. It is delicii. Okay. Best thing. You a coconut water guy?
Not so much, but my wife drinks it and stuff like that every now and again, maybe.
Oh, dude, let me get a case sent to you. I'm going to get a case sent to you guys. Okay. This stuff is the best coconut water in the land. It is good for you too. Hydration, electrolytes, good for your testosterone, your prostate. It is awesome. It's very good. And they're a sponsor. So thank you. So thank you to the Arora Law Firm, thearoralawfirm.com, and all of our sponsors. If you'd like to be a sponsor of the show, please reach out, jasonbailey.com. Like, share, follow on all social media. Remember, all 3 shows on the BPX. 3 shows, 3 different shows, 5 days a week, 1 feed. jasonbailey.com. Try to watch it on Spotify because it has the video and everything. At Honey, I Raised the Kids, at Listen to the BS, and at the Vinyl Road Podcast. Like, share, follow our content, and become a subscriber so you can get all the shows, including the hundreds of episodes and thousands of hours of past content that go up there. All right, Manny, do you have anything before we get out?
Nope, not this week. Just get ready for trial.
Okay. Bald Badger, do you have anything before we
get out? I think I caught the herpesiphilis from bourbon over here. I've been coughing the whole episode.
All right. Fox, can't wait. What do you have before we get out?
Jesus, Ben, why didn't you wear a mask?
There you go. All right. Thanks for listening. Thanks for support. You're going to be doing some drinking. I understand. I get it. But please do not get behind the wheel of a car. I've lost way too many friends like that, even though Manny would probably say, just don't hurt anybody. Get the DUI and call him. We'll talk soon. All right. Thanks for support. Hey, bye.
Thanks for listening. Till next time, check out thebaileyshow.com. Make sure you like, share, follow on all socials. I leave you with these parting words.
Never got a pink slip either. You know what I would get? A guy would come around to my desk and say, "Get the fuck out of here!"
What do we want to talk about?
3 different shows, 5 days a week, 1 feed, details, and to subscribe, jasonbailey.com.